Good morning, and thank you for joining our 6 a.m. moment of inspiration and prayer, spiritual morning treatment, using as our guide 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And today's reading for April 10. I have to keep checking which month it is because we've been going since before the beginning of the year. And some of you have been here every single day, and some of you have tuned in later. And I love that the broadcasts remain available so that you can have them at your convenience. And I love that you share the broadcasts. And I love being with you also. What a pleasure this is. Today's reading has a lot to unpack. Oh, my goodness. Each reading has got a quote from scriptures, Judeo-Christian scriptures, and sometimes I read them and sometimes I don't, because I identify as being more than my Christian roots. I'm open to learning about many more traditions, so I don't always depend on scriptures for my inspiration, but of course there are those famous ones that if you grew up with Christian training, or most faith traditions teach their young about the important ideas, and we got ours through the scriptures. And you see the quote on the top of the page is from Acts 17 verse 28, which is a very interesting scenario with Paul in Athens, and he's really distressed because the city is filled up with idols to different gods. And he notices one sign on a temple. I'm seeing if I can find it here, where you find an altar with the inscription, "To an unknown God," which offended him, I'm guessing. And he says, "So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship. And so I'm going to tell you how it is." Now, before we hear what he has to say, because that's the famous part that's coming, in a way, I disagree with Paul over here. I think the sign "to an unknown God" is deeply wise. I'm thinking of the Tao Te Ching, in which the beginning says, the name that can be told, or the Tao that can be told, is not the eternal Tao. And the name that can be named is not the eternal name. And don't trust anybody who thinks they know the name, because there is a mystery to the infinite that is beyond anything that can be contained in words. So we have to take Paul for who he is and the time he is, and understand he might have had a different point of view in a different era. But from his perspective, he says something that still resonates for our understanding of the divine. He says, "Now I'm going to tell you like it is to all of you people worshiping an unknown God." He says, "The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and doesn't live in temples built by human hands. The Lord is not served by human hands as if the Lord needs something. Rather, the Lord gives self to life, to everyone, makes everything." And then Paul says, "And the divine did this so that that which was created would seek the divine, reach out for the divine, even though the divine is not far away." So this is Paul's worldview. And then he says the famous line, the divine is not so far away. Why? Because in the divine we live and move and have our being. And then he says, "And as some of you have said, we are the divine's offspring." Okay, there we have it. So that's just from the scriptural reference at the top. In the divine, we move and breathe and live and think and have our being. It is not very far off, it being the divine. It's not there or here or somewhere. It's in the everywhere place. So that is our practice, to come back to that every morning. I am where it is. And he says, some of you have said we are offspring of the divine, or we can say we are inheritors of the divine nature, or we are progeny, or we are one with spirit. So I love that idea, and it is the focal point of our time together, to come back to identifying myself as existing within a spiritual framework that I'm not seeking to connect with. I am understanding as being very present for me. And then in the 365, Dr. Holmes says, it is an interesting fact that whether we know it and whether we know it not, that our lives are so intertwined with the divine, the living spirit, that it's impossible to do anything really without drawing upon it and knowing that we are one. He says, in fact, it's impossible to remain young and enthusiastic unless we know we are one with that which knows no age and no burdens. Well, okay then. Let us tune into that which is ageless, eternal, knows no burden, so that within each one of us, which is ageless, eternal, may come into full expression. Let us do that through prayer. There is only one life, and it is the life of the living Spirit Almighty. It is the timeless wisdom that guides. It guides everything, always seeking the fullest expression of itself through its love, through its eternal wisdom, through its presence. And this one life includes everyone and everything, and is the intelligence by which the universe is governed. I am a conscious point of creation within this one life. My life is its life. I am a creation of this one life. The living Spirit Almighty is present in me and is my intuition and my creativity and my thought and my mind. Its wisdom guides me. Its love inspires me. Its freedom sets me free. And its harmony connects me to all that is. So I accept today that I am free in the spirit of that which lives in me. I am free in the spirit in which I live. I move and breathe and have my being within this one eternal spirit. It is everywhere present, eternal, and way, way larger than any words or names can ever describe. The wisdom of the one life is active as my life. I listen today deeply to the call of wisdom that guides me. It calls me to be a stronger, brighter, better agent of love than I was yesterday. Today I covenant to cooperate with the harmonizing power of the one life. And as I breathe, I make room for all of my humanity, all of my human experiences, all of my ups and downs, while at the same time keeping my spiritual perspective at the forefront of my awareness. I am open, receptive, and brave today. I am awake to all that life brings today. I say yes to the love and the freedom that is within that divine presence, which I know deeply within me and is yet greater than what I am and beyond my complete knowing. I celebrate this with a sense of excitement. This powerful truth saturates my being, and I know today that I'm one with all people and they with me through the power of the living Spirit within. And so it is. Thank you for the wonderful comments and the pictures, photos that have been sent my way, and thank you to the dozens of people who share this broadcast and help us share our practice. It is wonderful to practice together, and I know that we can and ought to practice alone, and yet when we come together through the miracle of technology, something marvelous happens, and I thank you for being part of it. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.